What is up? What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Hey, check this out. First of all, we put together a YouTube course a long time ago, man. I'm pushing the YouTube course because I'm noticing something, man. I'm noticing what it is I'm doing wrong, and I'm trying to help people. I gotta help people, and we have learned a little more about the algorithm. And just to let y'all know, YouTube is put together to help you be successful. I'm gonna say that again because YouTube, the more success you are on YouTube, the more YouTube can run those ads and make money, and you can make money, and everybody all around makes money. So YouTube, the way the system and the algorithm works, it helps you get your channel monetized. They help you get subscribers. They point the people that's like what you're doing. If you're into cars, it ain't gonna show you a bunch of motorcycle type people. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, if you're interested in learning how to do YouTube and using my formula where we drop 4 or 5 videos a day, sometimes 7 videos a day. You see how many videos we release on 2 or 3 different channels. Also, by the way, we got you need to check out, if you're really interested, I wrote a book, and you need to check out my other channel, Before the Stage, which dives deeper into exactly what it is I like to do: music, recording, mixing and mastering, stuff like that. So I say all that to say because Jaguar, her name is deep in the algorithms, and shout out to Wolfgang. Glad to see them back together. What in the world they doing? I'm in trouble, y'all. I'm being punished. Tahir put me on punishment. He think I don't know. He's okay. You want to do this? Then take this. So we haven't done a Jaguar Wright in a little while, man, and I'm not gonna talk y'all to death. Shout out to Jaguar. Miss you, Jag. You and Wolfgang, shout out to both of y'all. Everybody else I don't know. I don't know nobody else. I know these two. So y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. The Jaguar Wright Effect is live. And Jaguar gonna point out some things, man, because that's what she do. So y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. At the end of this video, we're gonna have links and everything that you can click on the screen. And there's links in our description to go to our other channel, man. If you're really trying to change your life, then do that. Change it. You gotta make changes to get rid of the old and get into the new. And that's what Uncle Mike is doing right now. I'm getting rid of the old and I'm getting rid of the new. Yeah. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, man. Let's check this bad boy out, man. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Jaguar Wright Effect. This is our community channel where we all get together and, do what we do. It's a members only platform. So if you'd like to participate in the chat, the link to the channel is pinned. All you have to do is grab a membership and you can talk and do all of that good stuff, ask questions, whatever. And thank you to Jung, what is it? Jung Forever Coaching. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. You got a notification? Awesome. So yeah, guys, there's a lot of weird stuff going on, but there is something that I do want to say, and I want to start out first. For me, as somebody who has been surviving the rigmarole and the foolishness of it all, that is known as the entertainment industry and the world of media, it's hard for me to not be upset with a lot of things that I'm seeing and a lot of things that are going on. It's the good old fashioned wagging the dog. It's the good old fashioned how to keep, you know, the public chasing its tail. And I think for me, What's really pissing me off is that it's still working. Like how effective it is. And we've talked about this on several occasions. We've talked about, the 72-hour mindset. There's this thing that exists now with ADHD as a whole socially, that if you can make it through a 72-hour news cycle with, proper misdirection, people will just tend to forget whatever happened or whatever was going on. It's better than a Superman kiss. Because it's so effective. It just works. And I'm looking and I'm watching and I'm surveilling and I'm seeing. But I just wanted to start it off by asking everybody to just take a moment with me and imagine like the worst moment of your life happening, or one of the most horrific things in the world happening to you. You know what I'm saying? And screaming out and saying, hey, please, someone pay attention. Someone help me get justice. Someone help me do. No, I don't think it's just you. There is a reverb going on.
It's probably because of your setting. That's what I was like, because there's no reverb for me, right?
Jay looking like I don't know how to set those settings. What settings you talking about? Come on, Wolf. You know I'm a singer. I'm not a technician. That's how she looking, y'all. That's funny.
No, I don't think it's just you. There is a reverb going on.
An echo, a delay, a bounce back, baby.
Well, it's probably because of your setting. That's what I was like, because there's no reverb for me, right? You know,
It sounds a little pitchy.
It sounds pitchy.
No reverb.
I just heard an echo.
What y'all using?
You know what? Maybe
That need Uncle Mike over there, baby. You need
or
Uncle
maybe
Mike over there.
Should I pop out and come back?
You sure you want to do that? I don't think it's that.
Uh-oh.
Why don't you take your headphones out and it's different? 10 times clearer, your voice sounds stronger.
So these are just okay.
What?
Not these. It's okay.
These.
Well, we'll just have to upgrade them.
I don't know.
Hey, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. You start off, you learn. I'm gonna let you know, certified sound technician. I'm gonna let you know. You get what you pay for. You pay cheap. You know, you get them earbuds or whatever. That's Bluetooth that costs about $40, $50. I got an $800 microphone sitting over there. Hey, there's a reason why that microphone costs $800. There's a reason why this clip-on mic costs. You see the clip-on mic? There's a reason why this clip-on mic costs $32. There's a reason. Yeah. $800 to a $500 mic compared to a $24 mic. You get what you pay for, man.
Whatever.
That's all. That's all.
Here we are. Raw dogging it. So no, but I mean, I would like it if everybody could really just think about that. You know, you lose a loved one or something very traumatic happens to you.
But remember, you grow as you grow. The more you grow, the more your finances grow.
Happy solar return.
Happy birthday.
Getting better.
Oh, she's at Venice Beach. That's what's up.
That's what's up. That's a nice place to spend your birthday. I don't know if you live there or you're just there for your birthday, but that's a good place. I've had good birthdays on beaches.
Hey,
So
hey.
yeah, any oozing. And make sure everyone drop a little cake in the chat or a candle or something and let Empress know. Welcome. Another year. You've survived it.
Hey,
Here
hey,
you
hey,
are. Hey
hey,
ACG.
hey,
Welcome
hey.
home. Um, yeah, because the truth is, man, if you make it another year, everybody should be patting you on the back because it's a lot to survive out here.
Hey, Nana come in. Hey, Nana come in. When you leave, we stay in here. She talk. She jumping on her mommy. Mommy didn't knock before she come in. You come in any. This her house. She come in anytime she want. No problem.
In this crazy old world. So no, I want people to really think about what that's like, you know, to go through all of that. And then in the midst of looking for justice, looking for this, looking for that, looking for help, looking for guidance, looking for support, there is a concerted effort, an entire cooperating team working against you. And I mean, working against you. The law, not really working for you. Your friends, pretending like, you know, you're crazy. Imagine that. Imagine going through something awful and then speaking out, you know, or as Natanya would say, or just any person of faith would say, crying out and crying out aloud and not sparing anything, just literally letting it all go, and everyone around you, including the people that you love, including people that you have taken care of, including your friends, including your coworkers, saying you're crazy. Imagine how much crazier it is when you get little phone calls from people and they say, I know you're telling the truth. I know you're not lying. I know what you're going through. I'm so sorry. I wish I could do more, but I got a job. I got a this. I got a that. I can't. And then when other people call you crazy, they sit there and let it go down like that. I want you to think about what that does to the human psyche. People that say they love you, people that say they care about you, people that like all of this. And then if anyone is brave enough to come out and say, hey, I know that person is telling the truth. I know they're not lying. I know this is happening. I've been watching it happen forever. Guess what? They get called crazy too. And then guess what?
Guess
If the
what?
two of you stay in touch, you get targeted. And then life becomes even worse for you. Like for real. You lost your rabbit today? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know what it's like to lose a pet. Sometimes I think about my dog King. I miss him so much. But what are you gonna do? So, like I was saying, imagine what that's like. Everything you know to be true, everything that you know is real, everything that's you either have to go along and pretend like it's not, which only can do damage to the psyche, or you can stand up and tell the truth and then have to sit there and guard your mind against constantly being called a liar, constantly having your life challenged, constantly having like, what are you going to do? We all lose things along the way. What are you going to do? Sometimes we get lucky and those things come back to us. Sometimes we learn how to just let go and move on. It's yeah, I've never been, well, I can pretend. I can be an actress if I need to. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know how many years in this business there were things that were going on, things that we all saw, things that we all knew. And we had to sit there and pretend like it wasn't real. We had to sit there and pretend like it wasn't true. Um, and honestly, it sucks. And the longer you do it, it really makes you distrustful with humanity, honestly, in so many ways. Because when you start seeing people jumping on to the lying stories and jumping on to the foolishness and the craziness, hey, Barrett, good to see you. It's been a minute. Honey, who's got time to worry about haters? Who's got time? Not even the haters got time to worry about it because they getting hated on. But for real though, I want people to think about that. What that's like, what that does to your mind, what that does to your psyche. You know, it's so funny. People spend so much time trying to drive you crazy. They don't even realize how crazy they are. Like, especially the people that go along with it, the gaslighting efforts, the attempts, all of that. Like, there was a story that had happened, and we all knew the truth. And then somebody got to talking about it, and someone that happened to be in my small circle back in Philly at that time got to telling the lie. And they got so into telling the lie that they started adding things to it. Oh, oh, awesome. Salute to Prince Rogers Nelson. He wrote the hell out of that song. I enjoyed singing it. Um, but he just got so carried away. And he was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was like this, and it was like that. And it was, and I kind of got quiet. And I just started looking at this person. And I'm looking at them, right? And they're sitting there lying their ass off, just lying. And I'm watching them. And I'm like, okay, now you putting dubs on it. Now you going a little bit too far. You know, now you doing a little bit too much. Oh, after I shared the Demore story, you'd be surprised how many other stories there are like that. I mean, the truth is I don't really talk that much about my story anymore. I think because it's so triggering. You hear me make mention of it, but it is. It's triggering. Lies are definitely for the weak. Then what does that say about society and humanity as a whole? Because most people we know are liars. Let's just be honest. Most people we know are liars. And they enjoy it. They take pleasure in their lies. They do. Salute to you, baby. Yeah. And when you have PTSD, oh, yeah, it's rough because people not acknowledging what's happening. Um, while you're going through what you're going through it's jarring. It really is. So, salute to everybody who celebrates in the truth, who tells the truth, who's not afraid. Um, because you're a very rare, rare, rare group of people. Because if we've learned anything from the Diddy trial, if we're not learning anything, let's learn this. People are liars. Like, I was actually thinking about doing a whole live and just pointing out every content creator that that makes me want to vomit, But I don't think we got enough time. I honestly don't. And honestly, I don't want to make a lot of time for them. They full of shit and they know it. They don't care. They're doing it for whatever reason they're doing it for. They're doing it for a click and a view. They're doing it to, boost up their channel. They're doing it for this and that. Hey, May, welcome. Welcome to Jag Nation. Nah, but seriously, they know it. They don't get no fuck. I saw a content creator today, and I'm not going to give it too much light. I was about to hit the link, and then it gave me a whole bunch of trouble, and I couldn't hit the link. And then I realized that was God telling me ain't no point because you ain't going to change their mind about nothing. You want to talk it on your channel. And that's what I have a channel for. There's another little one-eyed weirdo, it's getting Charleston White goes off for a Jaguar Wright, like somebody cares.
Mm.
And I watched the clip and it was funny because he said up there, ain't nobody platforming her, really? That's funny because we turn down more interviews than anything. I've turned down a lot of people. Want to know why? Because if they want to hear the truth from me, they can come and get it here on my channel. Why do I need to be running around everybody else's channel? Why not just be on mine? It's so funny. Someone said that,
It got
she's
worse.
always on
It
everyone
got
else's
worse.
channel. Why isn't she Oh, you got the shirt? Awesome. Glad to hear it. Thank you. Thank you for supporting. And
Yeah, I got
anybody
my
else who wants
Jaguar
to
shirt.
support our cause and what we're trying to build and what we're trying to do, please order
I got my Jaguar shirt also. I didn't bring nothing to the Philippines. I'm in the Philippines right now, y'all. I forgot to tell y'all that part. Here we go.
a shirt. They do get out once we can
Uncle
get
Mike
them.
is in the Philippines.
They go out.
um,
But I think we're looking at doing something else now that the fall is coming. It's going to start cooling down some. We might have some sweatshirts on the way. Not sure. We'll see. But we'll let everybody know. That is funny. But no, you feeling real militant today, huh? You got anything to say?
I'm listening.
Wolf
You
Gang.
I'm just
listening?
listening.
Wolf
I'm
Gang
just
is
listening. Yeah. Go ahead.
that's the dude from
No, but
Boys in the Hood. Picture back in the day.
this is content creator and
Hey,
she's middle-aged. She's a few years older than me. She's closer to like Diddy's age, I'll be sure's age. And it's just wild because she was running down on Al B. Sure. Oh, was she running down on Al B. Sure? And I'm like, oh, here we go. Because there's new news this week. I mean, this week it's been a very eventful week on the Al
Mm-hmm.
B. Sure side of things, especially, which not a lot of people are talking about. Oddly enough, I would have thought I would have seen more people, but maybe now that all of this other stuff is going on, the targeting will begin and people will start talking their crap. So apparently, Albie Shore's book that's due to come out is being put on hold. It's not being released at this time. Allegedly, there is supposed to be some kind of it's supposed to be some kind of discrepancy, creative differences, or whatever the case may be. And so, because of that, this person decided that they were going to start running down on Al B. Sure, call him all kinds of liars, say that everything that he had to say about his life is fake, and talking about his relationship with his son, and talking about this and talking about that, and whoopty woo, and yada, yada, yada. And the reason why the book ain't coming out is because he's a liar.
Dang. Wow.
And I'm like, wow. Meanwhile, you're a content creator who's been online for quite some time. and all you do is talk crap about everybody else's life. You really don't know anybody. This is what it is. This is your life. This is what you've done. And when I saw it, honestly, it was triggering for me because I started thinking about how, by the way, all you have to do is double tap the screen to like this video. We got some decent amounts of people in the room. Can't we get at least 500 likes? Can't we do it faster than how we've been doing it? At this point in time, we need what? 350 likes? We got 900 people in the room? Come on. But it broke my heart because I know what he's been through and I know he's not lying. When you hear that someone that you know and care about is in a coma out of nowhere, you were speaking to them and they were just fine. They were just okay. And then the next thing you know, they're not. They went to the doctors. And the next thing you know, it was wild because same thing kind of happened to Angie Stone too. She went to the doctor, she was doing okay. And then the next thing you know, she became viciously ill. I don't know why people don't think that there are doctors out there that can't be paid to do harm, but there are. I promise you that. All of this low bar pneumonia and
It's a lot more that do harm than don't do harm.
I
So
know. Imagine what it's like to read a message saying that someone that you know, someone that you care about was rushed into the hospital and they had to zip them open. And when they opened them up, it looked like a boom boom had went off inside of their body. Because that's what happened to I'll Be Sure. We getting closer, but we could still use like 255 more likes. I want y'all to think about that. Whatever was given to that man, whatever was put in his system, whatever was put in his body was so catastrophic that it was liquefying his organs. Imagine that. Like, that's not even, he is without a doubt a miracle. Without a doubt. Who the hell survives that? You want to call that man a liar? After he lived through that, you want to call that man a liar? You greasy 55-year-old gray-headed pickaninny hoe. How dare you? You nobody. How dare you? Do you think that somebody that's gone through all of that is going to continue to keep putting their life in jeopardy by telling the truth after all of that? And that wasn't the first time he was in a coma. It's been more than once. Like, wow. I wonder if that happened to her, would she be able to recover so well? Like, you gotta look at when God puts his hands on somebody, and you gotta show a little respect for that. A little bit. Which is why I said, of all of the people that have perished, of all of the people that have gone through all of this harm from Uptown Records, I'll be sure is the only one alive other than Diddy. Nothing's ever happened to Diddy. Nothing. But now he crying. Now people coming for him in jail. Now they feed the maggots. Now
Oh
this,
well.
now that.
Oh well.
It's just wild to me that people think, after everything that you're hearing, that these people ain't capable of doing that stuff. Like, that's what's wild. Super wild. You want to know what else is wild? That nobody really likes to pay attention to any of what's real. 7 years ago. Thank you, Michael. Always good to have you here. Always good to have you, you know, making the rounds, reminding people what we're here for. You know, a lot of people are talking about Gina. A lot of people are talking about Gina Hunt. And it's so funny because we've been dealing with some things. Thank you, ACG. We've been dealing with a lot of things. And the biggest problem I'm having these days is media manipulation. Okay, we're getting closer, but we're still about, what, 203 likes off. We can't get 203 people to tap that screen real quick. Come on, get us in the algorithm. Y'all know how this works. But just because you're not a member and because you're not in the chat don't mean that you can't like the video. 7 years ago, Gina did an interview with Trash the Grouch. And I'm going to give her credit for this clip that I'm about to play. But it's just very interesting because all of the things that she had to say about Diddy is all of the things that everybody else had to say. But he's not violent. He's not this. He's not that. He's done this to multiple women. She was supposed to get on the stand. She did. She was supposed to testify. Then she disappeared. Then they had people thinking that, she was unalived, and then she was just gone, and then all of a sudden she emerges on the last day, and as the verdict is coming in, all of a sudden she's at the store doing a little grocery shopping, and TMZ found her. Of all people, TMZ found her and got a statement out of her. Oh yeah, she was missing with TMZ. So I just wanted to play this little clip right quick because there's some stuff going on here. And please, welcome to everyone that's here. Don't forget to hit the like button or just double tap your screen. Okay. You said there was a text message that you received from him. Oh, yeah. So I hit him the next day, though, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know that E-News reached out to me. And that's all I said. And he responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, and I never even met Tristan in my life. Oh, I want you to be clear with that. Wait a minute. He responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, LOL. Harvey. Put that camera on me. Harvey, so you've never met Tristan. I've never met Tristan. Okay. And Harvey was going to put together a story for Diddy to make it seem like you guys were no longer together because you were obviously messing with Tristan. So he was going to create a scandal, is what you're saying. I guess. Together. I want you to be clear with that. Wait a minute. He responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, LOL. Harvey. Put that camera on me. Harvey, so you've never met Tristan? I've never met Tristan. Okay. And Harvey was going to put together a story for Diddy to make it seem like you guys were no longer together. Because So let's be clear about this. Because Gina talked about a lot of things in that Trash of the Grouch interview back in 2018. And understand this, everything that she was saying back then, there was no way in the world she could have possibly known that the diddler was going to be in jail and be on trial and need her testimony. This was back when she was still fighting to be taken seriously and fighting to get the same kind of acknowledgement that Cassie got. This is before Young Miami. And let's not forget, this is the same girl that Young Miami came in after and said, "You're an eater. You're a this, you're a that, you're a bum, you're whack. You're begging, you've been begging for babies, you've been begging for this. And if I wanted you on your knees, eating out my stuff, Diddy would have you on your knees in a minute." This girl been around. She been around long time, dying for acknowledgement. But see, at this moment in time, back in 2018, she was fed up. She was so desperate to get his attention that she decided she was going to start doing her own interviews, dropping video, dropping receipts of the two of them together because he was always not acknowledging her, disacknowledging her. I want y'all to think about that. And people want to think that all of these women wasn't being mind controlled and manipulated. Like, even if you listen to the stuff that she had to say, it's funny because in that interview, I forgot there was so much she had to say in that interview. I'm so glad I went back and listened to it a little bit. It's Trash of the Grouch content. I'll acknowledge. You know, when she was talking about how she was competing for his affection and his attention, even with Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's stepdaughter. Because I remember, like, after Diddy got arrested and had to go to jail, if I'm not correct, I do believe when people asked Steve Harvey about what his daughter was doing with the diddler, he was sitting there trying to pretend like that never happened, like it was nothing. Because that's funny because Gina was talking about how Lori had come to a party and they were all there together. And her and the diddler had snuck off together and disappeared together, and she was looking for them and all of that. And then all of a sudden they reappeared and all of this and that. And this was after she was dating his son, or maybe his son was just testing her out to see if she was dad's type. Because isn't there another civil lawsuit where Justin procured girls from New York and then took them to LA? To party with dad? Yeah, with the white nail polish. It's interesting because she also said that she saw pictures of her undressed, at least from the waist up, with Lori Harvey and Diddy together. This is all in the Trasher interview. Yeah, she was fighting to get peed on. Fighting to be in the Dave Chappelle remix. I wanna piss on you. TPP, woo woo woo. Yeah. I guess everybody keeps forgetting that part. Golden showers for everyone.
Mm-mm-mm.
Man, by the time he's in his 70s and 80s, and all of that incontinence is really going to come in handy. Keep the party going. He ain't going to need no depends on nothing. Just have a little freak off, little senior version. Like, this is insane. We need 50 more likes to get to that 500. Well, appreciate it. But seriously, though, she said a lot of things that a lot of people keep forgetting. A lot of the same things that they heard being talked about in the trial. Her getting stomped out while she was pregnant. Her, like, there's a lot that insane Chucky doll did to that little misguided chick. And I've been saying it all along. You can't call these relationships.
You can't even say situationships. What can you say?
All of this overlapping, all of these
Wow.
women, and everybody was competing to get Kim's spot, like Kim's spot was any better. Kim pretty much had to trash her whole life just to keep going back and forth with him. And the only thing that she got out of it was the business benefits, you know, her acting, her modeling, the stuff she was able to do for her kids. Every time she tried to get away from him, he got to go beat somebody up. She so could nobody else have her? Like, I don't understand why people keep thinking that any of these women got treated well by this dude. He's a whole monster. Period. That's why I don't understand why people running around saying that the people that have been telling the truth about this guy are liars. How can you say that? How can you listen to the stuff that comes out of these girls' mouth and call anybody, me, Natanya, anybody, Al B, anybody, Gene Deal, anybody? How can you call any of us liars?
That's what I want to know.
What's sad is that apparently many people knew this dude was doing this stuff and behaving in this way and carrying on in this manner, and they were turning their heads. Isn't that what Gina? Yeah, that was something else that Gina had said. That when Diddy would get to going on her and busting up beside her head and sticking his foot on her and putting the boots to her and doing all of that, that everybody would just turn their heads and walk away and let him do it to her? Like, I mean, wasn't that in Cassie's lawsuit when she said Usher was sitting there when the diddler was assaulting her and whooping up on her, and he just got up and walked away?
Mm,
And women are still going to his concert? 4 more likes to 500. Would appreciate it. No, seriously. Like, what's wrong with people? Like, how's any of this stuff cool? Why is everybody running around sitting here trying to make excuses for a man that's a DV expert? Really? Ah, you know what?
mm,
That would be a good time for a man to speak on this. What do you think about any of this stuff here?
mm. I mean, to speak on a situation, and Diddy taking advantage of of those people, of those
Emotionally
was
destroyed
Gina
human beings.
an employee or no?
I mean, she was getting paid to be a girlfriend.
But she wasn't an artist.
No.
Um, I mean,
Crash
he
test
pretty
dummy.
much he took advantage. I mean, plain and simple.
She said that she thought he loved her because her daddy used to beat on her.
Dang, that's sad. That's sad. Vietnamese girl, right?
Something like that.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I say, don't take advantage of anybody. But that's just me. That's the place I come from. This situation in him and just everything going on with the court. Uh, oh, and I was gonna say something else about Trasher, but I ain't got nothing. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just seeing all of a sudden stories are popping up. Old stuff are conveniently popping up out of her, off of her, um,
Platform.
off her platform, and it's ruffling some people's feathers. In fact, I got to get a hold of those transcripts because we got to talk about some other stuff too. But it seems like it's a reason why certain things are coming up and out of that platform,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a reason. It's a reason.
The way they're rematriculating specific things to come out at specific times to trigger
Yeah.
certain
Yep.
responses and certain reactions and all kinds of shit.
Yep. And like a few content creators said, don't be surprised if these judges, these investigators be watching. That's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
But see, that's the thing when it comes to this whole Gina business and with her, standing up for this man and doing this and doing that. You know,
it's gonna backfire. Well, it's already backfired on her, right?
well, it's backfiring on everybody, but that's not the thing. I want people to think about what I just played them. She wanted to be acknowledged. She wanted to be taken seriously. She wanted to be known as one of the girlfriends. She had put in the time. She had put in the effort. He was constantly overlooking her. So she started leaking stuff. She was trying to go and get bigger interviews, but the only thing she could get was Trash to the K. And you didn't hear about it anywhere else. That
Nope.
was the only place that happened. She reached out to other entertainment magazines. She was trying to get her story out there. She wanted everyone to know what he was doing to her, what had happened to her. But the only place where that interview really got any shine was here on YouTube, on Trash the
Mm.
Grouch.
And then the TMZ
So
connection or
she
the
tried to go out there. She tried to get it out there. She tried to do it. Trashy K gets all of her testimony, and then the second that it comes forward, I want y'all to think about this. She tried to go loud first, and then you said there was a text message that you received from him. Oh yeah. So I hit him the next day though, and I said, "Hey, I just want to let you know that E News reached out to me." And that's all I said. And he responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, and I never even met Tristan in my life. So I want you to be clear with that. He responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, LOL. Harvey. Put the camera on me. Harvey, so you've never met Tristan. I've never met Tristan. Okay. And Harvey was going to put together a story for Diddy to make it seem like you guys were no longer together because you were obviously messing with Tristan. So he was going to create a scandal, is what you're saying. I guess. I want you to be clear with that. He responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, LOL. Harvey. Put the camera on me. Harvey, so you've never met Tristan. I've never met Tristan. Okay. And Harvey was going to put together a story for Diddy to make it seem like you guys were no longer together. Because she said it.
Interesting.
Trasha went back to clarify and she confirmed. If TMZ has the ability to stop a negative story in its tracks and has the ability to create a completely different narrative, maybe that's the reason why she's working with them now. Has nobody ever taken that into consideration?
Mm.
This was 7 years ago. And that story really didn't go anywhere outside of Tasha K's platform. She said E! News, but did anybody hear E! News talking about it? Nope.
Nuh-uh.
Did anybody really hear that story happen anywhere else other than Trasha K? And let me tell you something right now. Trasha K's platform is where they send stories to die. That's where they send relevant stories that they don't want to get no traction. Want to know why? Because she is not credible. And everyone knows it.
Mm-hmm.
She's salacious, but she's
Mm-hmm.
not credible. So when people hear your story on her platform, people just disacknowledge it as wild, crazy gossip. That's why we've instructed so many people, if you want your story to be taken seriously, not to go there because it may get 1,000,000 views here or there or whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, whatever the case may be, and it will die there. I got one word, I got one name for that. Brother Belial.
Mm.
Will Smith's old assistant. Does anybody not remember? She jugged that story up for a good almost 1.5 million views. The first video got a little over 1 million, and then the next video, it didn't even crack 500,000. But then again, that was after I exposed them, him. Because when he sat down with Trasha K, because he was supposed to come and sit down with me, but apparently when he came to me, see, they weren't expecting me to have my little backup files. Or does everybody forget my conversation with Bilal? Does anybody remember my conversation with Brother Bilal?
I saw snippets of it.
Hmm? You know, some of my old channels that was on there and they're all gone now. Because see, me and Brother Bilal were talking about the stuff that Will Smith was doing with kids. And Brother Bilal was talking about the stuff that Will Smith was doing with his own kid. And I was talking about what happened to Bashir. This back 2023. And then the next thing you know, rather than him sitting with me, he was sitting with Trash the Grouch. And he did a whole lot of talking about Jada. And he did a whole lot of talking about you know, homosexuals
Mm.
engagement between him and Dwayne Martin. And apparently Dwayne Martin was able to make all of that going away by marrying a much younger version of the wife that he chased off and left for dead, Tisha Campbell. Yeah. Interesting. His book was supposed to come out. It was supposed to be a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Does anybody know if that book ever came out? I ain't hear nothing about it. So not only, thank you, ACG. So not only did any of the real information that he shared with me about what Will Smith was doing with and had done with children. Hmm? Not only did all of that go away, but so did Brother Belial. Like I said, Trasher K's platform is where real stories go to die. They kill them there. They get no life there. They get no love there. They get nothing real there. She's so outrageous that people just tend to forget the validity of anything. So once again, why didn't the rest of what Gina said end up with any other credible outlet? Any other? The speculations about Lori Harvey and Diddy, but see, in Trasher K's interview, she said it herself that she saw pictures of Lori Harvey undressed with the diddler after she was dating his son. Maybe son. I've never seen a man who was so close with his friends that his children came out looking like his friends. Because Justin looks more like Wolf than he do like Diddy. But see, Wolf is dead and gone. So I guess better some daddy than no daddy. You know? It's kind of weird. Y'all keep on hitting that like button because we about to take all of this and we about to loop it all together. Maybe the reason why Gene is cooperating with TMZ now is because she knows there's no point in going up against them. TMZ's been involved in a lot of stuff lately. They've been involved with a lot of stuff, period. And the simple fact that he could text her and say, Harvey's cooking up a story to put you with another celebrity so nobody will believe that you've been with me, that makes a lot of sense to me. I can believe that. Because that's exactly what they did for Rock Nation with the Colin Kaepernick thing. Because see, Van Lathan said it himself that Rock Nation called TMZ, called Harvey to put out a hit piece on Colin Kaepernick so that they could, kill the whole kneeling thing and make it all about the Jigga Man. See? Because that's what the NFL wanted. The NFL wanted, they wanted the blackout to be over. They wanted everything to be over. They wanted all of this black foolishness done so that they could go back to making they white dollar off of the black back. But see, Van Lathan said that might not be a good idea, Harvey, because it might make you look like, it could put you in a racial situation. So instead, they came up with a whole nother spin story while the rest of the media outlets was just killing Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, a PR firm ran by someone who has a law degree, who dances on the very, very, very fine line of the law all the time. Harvey Littlehands, Leviathan. Mm-hmm. Sure enough. So let's really think about what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Gina wanted to come out. TMZ putting a story together. She sits with Tasha K, Her story lives and dies there. You see how that works? It's like a whole alley-oop. Truth goes out, it gets navigated to one specific spot, then a larger entity comes in, changes the narrative, this story dies out, and whoop, your PR nightmare is over. Y'all seeing what I'm talking about? Put a 1 in the chat if you following me. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't understand. I want y'all to hear what I'm telling you. Brother Belial's story, he was coming out, he had a whole book. He talks to me, tells me the truth, tells me about what Will was doing with the kids. But all he wants to talk about is anal trauma when he sits down with Trash the Grouch. And then I cut her money off once I started playing what Belial had to say about what Will was doing with his own kids. And you know what? Just for posterity. See, I wish people would stop playing with me. I wish people would stop acting like I ain't everything that I am. I really wish people would. I really wish people would stop saying that I'm a liar. I wish people would stop pretending like all I don't know. Like, are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. When I tell you that this stuff ain't no coincidence.
No.
When I tell you that this stuff is as real as it gets. When I tell you that they got a machine. I'm 55. It's critical. I'm telling you, we got you know what's wrong. But we gonna get into that. And this the thing, Belial. This the thing, Belial. I know where those threats come from. They come from a very bad place. Because the truth is, he jealous that he got sent home and you got sent out. Oh, you know about that. That's what makes him having anything to say about anything you saying so fucking egregious. Pussy, you was so busy thinking you was special and you got sent home. Yeah. Tell me I don't know. Tell me I don't know something. You know a lot. You definitely they sent his ass home and told me to come on out. That part. And guess what? Allow me and you ain't never spoke these words. Tell me I don't know something. By the way, at that moment in time when Charlie Mack got sent back to Philadelphia, to which he did not want to come, he missed living in California so bad. Belial went out. That was all right around the time when Jada Pinkett's show, the nursing show Hawthorne, abruptly came to an end. After that big, hot, steamy kiss that her and Mark Anthony had on camera. See, legend has it, allegedly, that after they stopped swinging with Tisha and Dwayne, and apparently Will and Dwayne never stopped swinging, they picked a new couple that Jada liked. And allegedly that couple was Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez. I mean, they had so much in common. Benny Medina is both their managers. Well, at least Jennifer and, well, Benny Medina, the flamer, My Little Pony looking.
Hmm.
Anyway, allegedly, and allegedly, Jada and Mark Anthony were double dipping without their partners present. A lot of swinging shit going on, isn't it? Allegedly. And Jill got, and not Jill, what's his name? Will got mad. And next thing you know, Hawthorne ended. I guess that kiss looked a little too real. And right after that, Charlie Mack was gone and Belial was there, but there were some other secrets that were being kept from Will that Will didn't know about. And I guess they just couldn't trust old Charlie Mack anymore. The Hollywood lines had blurred a little bit too much and he didn't know who he was supposed to be caping for, allegedly. There was a lot going on. A lot. You definitely know something. Send his ass the fuck home. I know she sent him home. Well, it was Jada. I know it was Jada, and I know why she done it. That part I don't know. That's the part. And guess what? And be grateful that you don't. But do y'all hear what I'm playing?
Yes, ma'am.
Are y'all getting it? Because I don't think so. We got 1,100 people in this room, and y'all telling me we only got 600 likes. We should have at least. I'm putting up numbers. I'm cooking. I know some people get real excited about reading paperwork and thinking that that makes them special. Recordings are so much better, especially when you have them from first party people who was there. Anybody can read paperwork. How do you get a fish to talk?
Hmm.
And guess what? Allow me and you ain't never spoke these words. Tell me I don't know something. You definitely know something. Send his ass the fuck home. I know she sent him home. Well, it was Jada. I know it was Jada, and I know why she done it. That part I don't know. That's the part. And guess what? And be grateful that you don't. Charlie lost at the Hollywood Shuffle. Sometimes the student likes to emulate the teacher. Oh, wait. Okay. And when you can't hunt publicly, you hunt within your camp. You know, see, nobody ever asked why Jaden left that house so young. Oh, we know that. That's definitely being talked about. That's definitely, I have a relationship with. I'm gonna tell you this one. I don't know if you ever noticed that boy hates Charlie. Oh, listen, he hates Charlie and he hates his father. I know, but he hates Charlie, and I wish somebody would ask him why. Well, yeah, well, his father done things to him that he should be in jail for. So his father done things to everybody. His father done. You know, it don't matter how many times I hear that. Can we get like at least 300-400 more likes right now? Because I don't care how many times I hear that. It always hits. Like I'm hearing it for the first time. His father what? That's definitely, have a relationship with. I'm gonna tell you this one. I don't know if you ever noticed that boy hates Charlie. Oh, listen, he hates Charlie and he hates his father. I know, but he hates Charlie, and I wish somebody would ask him why.
Well, yeah, well, his father done things to him that he should be in jail for. So
his father done things to everybody. His father done things to everybody's kids. What they did to Bashir. See, that's why me and Charlie into it over Bashir. Mm-hmm. My, indeed, ACG. How illuminating. You have no knowledge about what we're talking about? Well, you know what? While we're waiting for the rest of these 300 likes that we should have been had by now to pop up, I'll fill you in.
Go ahead.
I'm showing you how the misinformation train works. I'm showing you how they keep the public blind. I'm showing you how they use one content creator from another content creator from one platform to another platform to wrangle every last one of your minds up into gumbo to the point where you forget what's really going on. Everything that you're hearing right now, Diddy is attached to all of it. How did none of these people end up mentioned in that trial? Hmm? How? I'm explaining to everybody where they send stories to lose credibility so they can die out fast, and where they reshape them to make them fit the narrative that they want the public to have on a larger front. I'm showing you how they wag the dog. Well, is that helping? Is that helping at all? You know, Belial was just starting to get his press run up and going, and then he sat with Tasha K. Funny thing is he was supposed to sit with me first. Because see, if I go and I pull up the details, the information on this file was created November 19th, 2023. If you go and look at the Belial interview, it came out after that. I spoke to him first. So tell me something. Why didn't he sit down with me on what was supposed to have been Keep It a Bean? Oh, I'm gonna tell you why that didn't happen. Because Keep It a Bean was never going to happen. See, I got a contract, so-called, with a company, and the truth is they were only hired to hire me so that they could shadow everyone that I was talking to, so that they could take whatever I was going to use for content and turn it over to the bad guys so that they could flip the story and remix it before I could get the truth to the public. Welcome, Novel. Welcome to Jag Nation. Oh, we gonna do better with these likes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think we cooking. Trashy K is a part of the problem. She's a big part of the problem, and she likes being a part of the problem. Because the truth is, if she wanted to get multi-million views out of that Belial interview, she should have been talking about everything that me and Belial was talking about regarding the kids. Why is it that Trashy K sits down with people and the big things that should be being talked about, she forgets? She only gives you the weirdo sex stuff and the goofy stuff, but nothing of any real importance. Why is that? Everybody welcome Novel. Come on, we can do better with these likes. Like for real. It's starting to become offensive. We've been here for over an hour. We ain't got 1,000 likes yet. That's crazy. Because I can guarantee you 2/3 of you have never heard any of what I'm playing for you right now. But see, I want to give you a timeline of the disinformation and how it works. And I know there's a bunch of you that's just popping in and popping out. That's probably running back to Trans Arena right now talking about Jag is over there. It's funny. She sat with Demore Hadley after she sat with me too. And that landed Demore in court. 11111. You know, that little stunt that Trash K played on Demore over there on Instagram after after when they started putting the gag order and getting all of their contempt, all of that going on, and then Trash K put up that post where she put Demore's name on it as a collaborator when Demore never gave her access to do that, knowing that that gag order went out there. Like, come on. Hashtag justice for the Hadleys. Please remind him, Melina, please tell him to double tap that screen. She acting like a fed, ain't she? She acting like somebody is a straight setup queen. That's what she do. That's what she gives. So I'm curious. How does Belial sit with me and me and him have this conversation? Hmm? And when you can't hunt publicly, you hunt within your camp. I didn't solicit what he said about Will C. Nobody ever asked why Jaden left that house so young.
We know that. Oh, that's definitely being talked about. That's definitely, I have a relationship with.
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know if you ever noticed that boy hates Charlie.
Mm.
Listen, he hates Charlie and he hates his father.
I know, but he hates Charlie, and I wish somebody would ask him why.
Well, his father done things to him that he should be in jail for. So
his father done things to everybody. His father done things to everybody's kids. What they did to Bashir. See, that's why me and Charlie into it over Bashir.
Mm-hmm.
Cause see, he played. I didn't solicit that, did I? I was talking about Charlie Mack. Put a 3 in the chat if you think it's weird that Tasha K didn't talk about any of the kid stuff in her interview with Bilal. Skip right over that. Oh, she made a big deal of putting the clip together with Bilal being all animated, talking about how Dwayne Martin was taking Will Smith to Pound Town and just red rumming his booty. She couldn't wait to get that to the public. Oh my God! Did you just say that? He said a lot more to me. Why ain't he say it to you, bitch? Oh my God! Did you just say that? He said a lot more to me. Why ain't he say it to you, bitch? Which you don't think people would have wanted to know? They just want to know about all the weirdo homo stuff, huh? Talking about Jada. And in the next interview, oh, Jada's of this, Jada's of that, Jada's of this, Jada's of that. And she's a drug addict, and Jada allegedly, and she's a bald-headed dyke allegedly, and she's this and she's that. Y'all wanted to talk about so many salacious things, but not about what happened to them kids? Hmm? 175 more likes would be much appreciated. I'm straight cooking over here. I don't think y'all get it. Salute to Gadisha Lynn. She did a post earlier today talking about how the feds was asking somebody who was looking to strike up a deal who had affiliation with the diddler, was asking about what he was doing with young boys back in 2013. Rewind, that would have been around the time of the Flavor Freak Off camps when Jaden was going there and when Bieber was going there. They would have been right around that age. We not, is it lining up? Because see, that's what was going on back in the 2013. When Kadisha Lynn ran into that report that she said she ain't never seen before now that just popped up right now. That's what was going on. The Flavor Freak Off with the children. We What we short now? 160 likes. Anybody seen Bashir lately? Anybody seen what he got going on lately? Anybody else think it's weird that that nosy little imp, that demon whore from hell, Transrena, didn't ask Brother Bilal about what was going on with the kids? What did he do to his son that he should have went to jail for? Brother Bilal? And now he gone. Whew. I guess he back over there in Riyadh, waiting on a sandstorm to come. I don't know. Hmm? People need to stop playing with my intelligence. They need to stop playing with me. I'm telling you. Since there's so many people, so many lawyers and district attorneys and DA and judges that are watching social media, I hope you're watching me. You know that silver-haired weirdo that was talking about my friend I'll be sure earlier today, calling him all kinds of liars, kept saying if he knew so much, why wasn't he on the stand for Diddy's trial? That's a great question. Why don't you ask the prosecutors who told everybody who had done an interview in interviews and documentaries that were orchestrated by NBC, where Harvey Leviathan was all involved in the projects, weren't allowed to because they said they had done interviews. So that's the reason why that they couldn't. Am I lying? Wolfgang.
Hold on one second. I'm talking some business real quick. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's be
I'm gonna
clear.
tap in a second. Hold on.
Uh-huh. Let's be clear. Y'all gonna stop playing with me. Yeah, he's a real man. He's a real man. He was a real husband. He was a real father. And he was never really that nosy. And he always respected his partners. He respected women a lot more than the diddler ever could. I find it funny that they have no problem with running down on Al B. Shore, who was nothing but respectful and good to women, but they want to praise this weirdo who pees all over people and beats on people and does all kinds of nasty things and talks to people like trash and high or off whatever pharmaceutical he's rocking with today and tomorrow. Like, I just find it funny that everyone is so busy praising the demon and has no respect for the real decent man who's lived through hell. Something wrong with this country and something wrong with Black people. I'm telling you this right now. All of us. There's something wrong with us. Yes, justice for Al B. Shore and for Kim Porter. But see, when you've been conditioned to believe that these weirdos are in control, you go along. They do the go along to get along game. We almost there. 125 likes would be appreciated. We got enough people in the room. Hmm? See, this is how it works. This is how they play with your minds. This is how they take your minds and turn it into mush. See, they got Bilal out of the way because that book that he had and everything that he was putting in it about the evil Hollywood cabal and what was happening, what was going on. He lightweight touched up on the kids, but he didn't really get into it. I think he wanted to see how hard they was going to come for him with a little bit of stuff he was willing to let out. Of course, they didn't want him talking to me because I was going to bring it all out. But instead, he ended up sitting with Trashy K. And then all of my footage got stolen in a rigged robbery in Las Vegas, Christmas 2023. Hmm? Imagine how pissed off they are about me doing the Damari Hadley story. Imagine how pissed off they are about that. And then Tasha comes in later on and then she does it and she tries to find a way to get the girl to bug up, to lose her mind, to become discredited in some way, to discredit her story in some way, to get her to start kissing her mother's ass in public so people will look the other way while they try to find a way to make all of this go away. And then when that didn't work, you accidentally put out a social media post tagging Demore's name on it to make it look like she was violating the gag order so she could be held in contempt and thrown in jail. You fucking piece of shit cunt. Trans Raina. You ain't nothing but a setup hoe. I would know. Look at how many times you've tried to set me up. Look at how many times it almost worked. That's what you do. You fix. You put people in bad situations on purpose. You find ways to devalue and discredit real information. And then Harvey Leviathan comes in and creates a whole new narrative. And then the rest of the 27 outlets that I'll be sure posted about earlier this week put in a little bit of story. And then 72 hours later, everybody's acting like they don't even remember exactly what was said before. Hmm. See how that works? You see how that works? Ooh, I'm so good, it's disgusting. Appreciate we at 900. We could use 98 more. We got just enough people in here to double tap that screen and make it happen. Now, I just played for you what Tasha K missed with Bilal. Let's take another listen at what
Okay. And you said there was a text message that you received from him. Oh, yeah. So I hit him the next day, though, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know that E-News reached out to me. And that's all I said. And he responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, and I never even met Tristan in my life. Oh, I want you to be clear with that. Wait a minute. He responded and said, TMZ is working on a story with you and Tristan Thompson, LOL. Harvey. Put that camera on me. Harvey, so you've never met Tristan. I've never met Tristan. Okay. And Harvey was going to put together a story for Diddy to make it seem like you guys were no longer together because you were obviously messing with Tristan. So he was going to create a scandal, is what you're saying. I guess. Together. I want you to be clear with that.
You know, there's another clip that I want to pull out from another really interesting guy here on YouTube. 70 more likes would be appreciated. Yeah. You know, this boy puts out a lot of videos. I didn't realize how many videos these people put out. Like, these people put out video after video after video. But I guess if that old weirdo who likes swapping wives with a weirdo like Whack 100, Adam 22 was paying you 72,000 a year to say whatever the man needs to be said to keep the public, all in an uproar. I guess. Was it this one?
Open a churn checking account.
So let me turn this down. Let's see. Was it this one? Okay. Tomorrow, and then that. And then there was a clip in here. Yeah, see, this is Demore. This is when he was lightly talking about Demore. And okay, so no, it wasn't this video. Okay, not that video. I know it was not long after that. Let me see. Wow. If people really paid attention, there's something else that's going on right now that I wish I could talk about. I really want to. Man, I really want to. I really want to talk about it. I want to talk about it so bad. Like, is this it? Yeah, this is it. Here's the clip. And I heard this, like I said, over here with poetic salute to poetic flop.
And this is the reality. This is what happens. At least what happened, at least in this one instance, because I was there.
Because he was there.
I know for sure.
I know for sure.
I'm not saying it was Jay-Z. I can't say that Jay-Z did anything, right? But I know for sure, that Rock Nation was seeding negative stories about Colin Kaepernick during the time that he was really in traction with Jay-Z.
He knows for sure because he was there. Did anyone else hear that? 45 more likes would be great. I'd appreciate it. Got over 1K in the room? Come on. Y'all can do 45 more. Tappy tap. He can say it because he was there. That's what he said. He was there. He can say this because he was there.
What? The local publicists at
Salute to Poetic Flacco.
pushing negative stories about Colin Kaepernick on behalf of
Whoa.
without Jay-Z knowing?
Whoa.
That's not even plausible or reasonable. Of course Jay-Z was involved.
But when Nessa's talking right there, there's a part of me that feels bad about letting her be on her own with saying that. And this is the reality. This is what happens, at least at least in this one instance, because I was there. I know for sure. I'm not saying it was Jay-Z. I can't say that Jay-Z did anything, right? But I know for sure, that Rock Nation was seeding negative stories about Colin Kaepernick during the time that he was really in traction with Jay-Z. I've told this story before, I'll tell it again. This is another story where I give Harvey a ton of credit, right? So I'm at my desk one time. This is after the Rock Nation NFL deal has been announced. And give Harvey more credit than just with how he played this. I'll give him credit for the fact that he goes, hey, I just got this information on the phone. I know who's on the other end of the phone. I know who Harvey's Rock Nation contact is, right? I just got this information on the phone. And all of these things about Colin Kaepernick is what I just got told, right? He comes over to me and he tells me all of these things. And it was the whole Colin Kaepernick doesn't really want to play narrative. Like Colin Kaepernick go to this training or he sabotaged himself this way or whatever. Actually, it was the same thing that people had started to hear on First Take.
Wow.
It was a narrative that was getting around because
he said this was something that they were hearing on First Take. Isn't First Take? What? Am I wrong? Somebody let me know if I'm wrong. Just say yes or no. Is Stephen A. Smith? Was he First Take? The sports show First Take? You know Stephen A. Smith? Was he First Take? Am I remembering that correctly? See, tonight's live is all about me exposing the media. Does any of you know? Do I got a moderator, anybody who knows whether or not First Take is Stephen A. Smith? You know what? Maybe I should just. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Now, what did this young man just say?
And it was a narrative that was getting around because it was coming from he doesn't really want to play narrative. Like Colin Kaepernick
doesn't really want to play.
Go to this training or he sabotaged himself this way or whatever. Actually, it was the same thing that people had started to hear on First Take. And it was a narrative that was getting around because it was coming from what I thought at first is that either it was coming from players that had played with him or people that knew things. I don't know, but I had heard it before, right?
Take your business to the next level with tools to sell everywhere.
Harvey comes over to me and he says all of this stuff and he's like, yeah, did you know that he actually doesn't really want to play? And I looked at Harvey and I said, look, I don't think that we here at TMZ should be getting in the middle of what's going on between Colin Kaepernick and Jay-Z.
That's what Van Lathan said.
What essentially was a hit piece on Colin Kaepernick, I don't think we have the cultural cachet to do that. Number one, to insert ourselves into the middle of that situation. And also, I think it's choosing a side in something that is literally at the core of a culture, of a Black cultural discussion right now. I don't think we should do it. And he listened. He listened.
It's been about 5 years or so, so a lot of people have forgotten. But at this time, a lot of people was giving Jay-Z flack for taking a deal because it felt like betrayal.
Isn't that interesting? Diddy called TMZ to get ahead of the Gina story because he didn't want anybody to know that he was messing with that goofball. And it was messing with his public whatever. Rock Nation calls TMZ to find a way to discredit Colin Kaepernick with the whole kneeling thing when we were in the middle of a full-on social war. And then the Jigga Man comes in with Desiree Perez. And then all of a sudden, yeah. And then everybody's running back to perform at the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
Do you see how they use the media? Now, Stephen A. Smith, thank you for the 1K likes. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for everyone who's donated to the platform. Please continue to do so. We can use all the help we can get these days. Are y'all seeing what I'm saying to you? See, I got a few things that I want to say about Stephen A. Smith because, a lot of people said a lot of things about how Stephen A. Smith really wasn't for his people, about how he really didn't stick his neck out. He didn't try to get other people, that looked like us hired when it came to the whole ESPN Disney thing, how he really all he worried about is working for the man and being down for the man, right? And then all of a sudden he brings in Shannon Sharp, right? And now people can stop saying that he don't look out for people. And now that Shannon Sharp is gone, he can say, hey, well,
I tried.
I tried. Now he ain't got to try no more. Now he ain't got to let Disney down no more. Want to know what's funny? Shannon Sharp already had a bad reputation on the low for his behavior with women. He had Cat Williams come on one week. He had Monique come on the next week. And they both was lightweight, low-key letting him know that his proclivities was out there, that the rumors about him was out there. And then the next thing you know, boom, his whole life goes to hell. As nosy as Stephen A. Smith is, and as many people's business as he keeps his nose in, you don't think he heard those same rumors that Cat Williams and Monique heard? You don't think he heard those too? Only comedians heard about his misdeeds with women? No, I don't think so at all. I think it's pretty plausible an idea that he selected Shannon Sharp because he knew he was a screw up. And then all he had to do was give him time to let him do what he was doing. And then when they came with the pitchforks, he could just step aside and say, well, hey, I tried. It's not my fault you're on OnlyFans. I didn't do this. And now he ain't got to worry about helping brothers out no more. Now he can keep being, the Steven he is. Because he's not, I always thought it was funny. The Django Unchained and, the Steven. It's Steven. Steven meets Steven.
Mm.
Like, if they ever turn Django into a stage play, they should get Stephen A. Smith to just play Stephen. Because a lot of people had the same problems around Stephen A. Smith that they have with old Vladimir Lyuski. People sit with him and end up in trouble or end up fired or end up losing contracts. Really, he was the first one. But then again, he does have affiliation with Rock Nation, and he also had affiliation with the Diddler. He was very close with the Boule. Matter of fact, more I think about it, he's starting to just look more like Boule than Cool With. Gatekeepers, plantation managers. All through media. Hmm. This paper I got up in the back of me, it's attached to a lawsuit from back in 2008. As you can see, this is Westmoreland versus Williams. It's a terrible story. Diddy's lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, it's her case. It's a terrible story. I'm not going to go through all of the nasty details. But she was great. Sure was. By someone who allegedly worked for Cash Money Records. I've been to Patchwork Studios. I recorded there. It's decent studios. I didn't know. I recorded there once during the pandemic. I didn't know that's where her essay had taken place. Really didn't work out too well for her. It was all kind of terrible. She tried to sue everybody. She appealed everything. She went through a lot being recognized. And when I was listening to the details, I started thinking about the way she was cross-examining some of those Vics that was sitting on the stand for Diddy's trial and the way she went at them. What if somebody went at her like that? Because in her story, she was invited to come there because she was helping people get their suspended licenses back or whatever. And this is before, I guess, she became a lawyer and the Cash Money people asked her to come by because they had a bunch of people with suspended licenses and she was supposed to be marketing her, whatever the case may be. And she went to Patchwork one night, but she didn't feel all that comfortable there. And so why'd you go back? And then she came back the next time with friends, and she had one friend that was sitting there cornrowing some dude's hair, and then her other friends was running off to the store to go get some stuff, and they was all kicking it and chilling. And the funny thing is her friends left, but they left with her car. Like all of those dudes there at that studio didn't have a car that they could have ran and did errands with. They was all kicking it. My thing is if you felt that uncomfortable that you needed to come back with friends, why didn't you go to the store with your friends? Why would you stay there alone if you were so... Like, I wonder if anybody ever asked her those questions about her essay story when she got raped in a bathroom at a studio. Hey, Tawana. Oh, we just doing a little lesson on how the media plays with the public's minds. I wonder if anybody ever examined her the way she examined those Vicks. What made you go back? If you felt so uncomfortable there before, what made you go back? It doesn't sound like you were there in a professional capacity. It sounds like all of your friends were mingling and mixing. You were supposed to be there for business. How did it all become so personal? How did you end up alone? Like, can you imagine? She got snatched into a bathroom. She got worked over pretty rough. And then when someone came to the door, they said, "Hey, look out. It's going down in here," and then offered her to the next person at the door. She cried and she pleaded. I wonder if she cried and pleaded like Cassie did, or like any of the other girls. Hmm. Like I said, I don't know how she took that case. To sit there and to listen to all of that stuff after everything she been through by the hands of rappers, no doubt. Like that's the funny thing. This is a rap mogul. She got worked over by Cash Money, somebody from Cash Money Records, and you can justify talking about how proud you are of your client and what a great guy. Like, man, it's gotta be the shoes. And the funny thing is I seen the Louboutin. She walked and she a little teeny thing. She a little teeny thing. She's shorter than me. And she about a half a minute big. Them shoes look like they was about to break her ankles.
Mm,
Am I lying?
no.
It's gotta be the shoes. Is that why you did it? Is that why an essay survivor like yourself was able to sit there and victimize those women on stand all over again, talking about them, making them look crazy, making them sound crazy? People could have said the same thing about your case, man. Or were you just that desperate to get in business with these rap guys and be attached to all of that money and all of that celebrity, just like these girls? Like, what makes you any different? Hmm? They've been making a lot of mistakes, this legal team. A lot of mistakes. One day, you're under the belief that y'all is talking to the White House, and then your boss get on TV the next day, say something completely different. Was you just taking one for the team and you just jumped out there with that lie all by yourself, or did you talk too much? Or have y'all been so busy trying to find a way to manipulate the media and to trying to find some sympathy for this fool that you're not even keeping your story straight with one another? Breakfast Club talking stupid, talking about it's okay for them to be talking about him coming home, but they shouldn't be talking about Madison Square Garden and Diddy being back on the stage at Madison Square. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know what? Everything that y'all have had to say about this trial is crazy too. Please shut up. Why don't you talk about DJ Envy's friend who stole all of that money and why his name isn't being added to it? Because he's the one that introduced that guy to everybody and told everybody to trust him. He should be on the hook federally for that as well. Why is nobody talking about Charlemagne and his child case? Hmm? Why does nobody talk about anything that matters? Yet the very weirdos that are sitting out here trying to convince the public, enrage the public, confuse the public from one story to another story to another story to another story. Let's get back to a little bit more of this. Because there's a little bit more to the story, I believe. Hold on. That Van Lathan said regarding the media manipulation. There's a little bit more. Shout out to Poetic Flacco.
Listen, he goes, okay, that makes a lot of sense. He listened. I'm like, I don't think we should do that. Like, he listened, right? He went and got back on the phone. He went and got back on the phone. When he came back, there was a different story. And the story that ended up making it to TMZ was that Jay-Z somehow had the inside track on becoming NFL owner because of his relationship with the NFL. And that ended up being the story. You guys could probably Google that story. I'm sure it's still on the site. That Jay-Z was going to become an NFL owner. And the reason why that story went up is because still a story that kind of explained why he had decided to take the deal with the NFL. It was a story that made it make sense to people. Like, oh my God, maybe Jay-Z, as the owner of a team, can then put Colin on a team. Or maybe moving on from the kneeling situation is worth it because we're going to get a black owner in the NFL. Jay-Z sold out his own people to enrich himself.
And he still ain't nobody's owner. He's just the head in charge for the Super Bowl. He shares some truth from time to time. But you know what? After he did that, he got 6 strikes on his channel. He ain't trying to be so brave no more. Our channels came down and we fought to get him back.
How the hell he get 6? Jesus.
Yeah, the plantation bowl manager. Are y'all seeing what I'm saying to you? Are you seeing? Is it making sense to y'all? Am I walking y'all through it enough? You got one lawyer doing an interview saying one thing, another lawyer doing an interview saying another thing, another lawyer doing an interview saying another thing. One of the lawyers, her father's got a podcast with Harvey Levin from TMZ.
And Harvey was just on TMZ today, still caping for Diddy. I said, damn, get off his dick.
Yeah, hard. I'm sure he would like to play with Harvey with those small little hands, those small little white hands. The contracts, you know? Now, we got Harvey fixing a story back in 2018 for Diddy regarding Gina. We got Gina now working with TMZ to fix Diddy. Now, we got, just like Harvey was right there when Twitch unalived himself. How were they able to get there so fast? How did they know he was going to unalive himself? What, they just happened to be there? We got Harvey in 2019 fixing stories about the NFL boycott turned whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. And while everyone else, Stephen A. Smith and all of them were doing hit pieces on Colin Kaepernick, trying to make Colin make it seem like blah, 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 yada, 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 whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. All of a sudden, Harvey comes with a different story. He comes with a Cinderella story about how Jay-Z taking this job was going to be great because he was going to become an owner. Not he ever. Not in the NFL. These people have the ability to call and shut down anything. Now, this week, at the top of the week, I'll be sure drops receipts that there are 27 media outlets that have been scrubbing everything about Kim Porter and everything that he had to say that's real and everything true that could lead back to some kind of justice. 11111 in the building. That could lead back to justice. It's there one day, then it's gone the next. And now all of a sudden his book is on hold. I tell you one thing, considering that the judge is now unredacting everything that didn't go in the trial. Oh, and by the way, to you gray picking any old hoe, you should probably listen to this part of my life. There was a lot of things that were redacted in that trial. There was a lot of stuff that didn't go in. There was a lot of evidence that wasn't presented. There were a lot of people that were not allowed to testify. It's not that they didn't want to. They weren't allowed to. Part of the reason why a lot of people weren't allowed to testify was because they had appeared in documentaries and interviews, and they said that that would have poisoned the jury pool and it would have been unfair, created an unfair bias. Guess who was in documentaries? Natanya Rubin. Guess who was in documentaries? Gene Deal. Guess who was in documentaries? Jaguar Wright. Guess who was in documentaries? I'll Be Sure. Guess who was in documentaries? Other relevant and credible witnesses against the diddler, and one of them was against the diddler and the Jigga Man, allegedly. It's funny. Everybody talked about the the autistic victim from Alabama. Everybody talked about that case getting dropped. And everybody talked about Jay-Z going after them and suing them for defamation and and, and what was it, extortion? But nobody talked really that much about the fact that the case got thrown out. And the judge wrote a very, very, very lengthy reason on why they threw it out. If he was going after that victim, trying to, for defamation and extortion, saying that they were coming after him with lies to get money out of him, the only way that case would be thrown out is if the judge didn't believe that they were lying. The judge would have had to believe that they were telling the truth, which would have meant whatever evidence that nobody saw that never made it to court held some weight. And just because they appealed it don't mean it's ever going to be any more true. That appeal could hold up for quite some time. And I think what they're really more worried about is getting that casino in Times Square and trying to kill any bad press that they possibly can. I'm going to tell you something right now. If Diddy has access to a company that has 27 media outlets under its thumb where they can scrub things from the internet and change headlines and put out lies as fact when it's nothing more than bullshit, conjecture, rumors, and spin, I wouldn't want Al B. Shore's book coming out either. Because the stuff that he would have to say in that book could hold some weight in that sentencing too. Al B. Shore's book coming out, and then some of the stuff that's in there might actually lead to another investigation, a red rum investigation, while he's already being heralded a violence person with women. That might not be good, especially in the wake of Little Rod's case about to come right after his sentencing. I don't know. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
If I'm making sense, wow. Evidence of them manipulating the media comes out the top of the week. By the middle of the week, the evidence is snatched down off of an IG post. And by the end of the week, now the book being released is on pause. But creative differences. Creative differences. Or maybe Simon and Schuster's getting bullied by some heavyweights. And they're not willing to go into litigation before they can even make a dime off the book. If I was the diddler, I wouldn't want that book coming out either, especially considering the bang up job they did getting their hands on allegedly whatever pieces of Kim Porter's memoir that they could and turning it into a complete clown show and every other kind of show to make it sound absolutely ridiculous. Meanwhile, while all that's going on, flooding YouTube and media outlets with all kinds of weirdos telling all kinds of wild, crazy stories. Like, I think y'all are forgetting about all of that. Diddy got arrested. Diddy got arrested. I went on Pierce Morgan. I called all of the stuff out. Hey, Kat. Hey, Janine. And then the next thing you know, all of these weirdos started popping up. This weirdo who's a plagiarist and a thief and a liar. This weirdo who calls herself She Diddy and decided she was going to sell cannabis with this lying weirdo who said he had Diddy tapes. You want to know what's funny? Everybody wants to talk about all of the people that weren't at the trial, all of the people that didn't testify. Did anybody, why wasn't he at the trial with all of his evidence? Maybe because there was no evidence. Maybe because it was all a lie. It was all a grift from the very beginning. Maybe that's the problem. See, that maybe that's what nobody's really paying attention to. It was all a play from jump. And they tried to attach every last one of them to me on all of these weirdo YouTube platforms. They tried to discredit me on Pierce Morgan. That didn't work because everything that I said about the Carters, other people came out and accused them of. Talking about retractions. Where's my apology, you lying freaks? Everything has been to try to discredit me. I've done nothing but tell the truth. People still trying to discredit me? How do you explain all of these people? Because all of these people were put in place to poison the jury pool. And content creators like Lionel B and Sean Atwood jumped on with two hands to help spread the disinformation and the misinformation around. The authorities should be investigating both of their platforms. Why aren't they? Yeah. I was just listening to commentary of when me and Lamisha were on Sean Atwood's platform with Ron. I got up there and I had my blink twice lighter, skull and golden skull, little figurine statue and all of that. And I said, this is my blink twice. Nobody paid attention to the fact that I was pulling her card because everything that she was saying that she went through with Diddy was all of the stuff that she took out of the movie, passing it off as her own story. That's why I did what I did to subliminally bust her out. I was trying to give her a little bit of grace. But when I go back and I listen to that now, and listening to the way Ron kept sitting there trying to convince me that I knew her when I told him, I don't know this girl. Only spoke to her one time over on the Tanya's platform. And the Tanya shut it down because she said she got a word from the Lord that these women were lying and she was right. So was I. I got a whole recording with Adria. With Adria sitting there talking about how Lamisha is connected to Yellow Beezy's trap house. You know Yellow Beezy, the Rock Nation artist who lined up Mo3, who's trying to get out of taking legal responsibility. Meanwhile, Mo3's little brother and cousin is sitting over there on the couch talking about what a bad person Mo3 was, trying to make it seem like he deserved everything that happened to him. Like, y'all not watching what's going on? Y'all not seeing the kind of games they play on YouTube? Hmm? It's funny because Sean Atwood had to take all of his Diddy content down, 90% of his Diddy content down because his lawyer says so. No, because your lawyer told you, did you get your check yet? Take it down before we get sued and before we get charged. Y'all committed a crime. Y'all was helping them fix this case all the way back then. Think about all the ridiculous things you heard Adria talk about. Think about all the ridiculous things you heard Lamisha talk about. When I think about that recording that I have of Adria, though, and her talking about how they was over there getting high on mushrooms and how Lamisha's boyfriend threatened to pow the both of them if they didn't stop running their mouth, talking about Yellow Beezy. See, Yellow Beezy is a Rock Nation artist, not a bad boy artist. See, when you kind of look at it, when you really pay attention, when you really look close at it, what it sounds like is that while the Jigga Man was sitting there having his lawyer tell everybody he was never friends with the diddler, he was busy being his strategist and being his cleanup man and getting his people to run interference online to create all kinds of negative crap. So when people did go and sit in court, they would remember subliminally all of the weirdo things that they heard here online, so that when they would hear those girls talk about it in the courtroom, they would be desensitized and not take it seriously at all. Put a 4 in the chat if I'm cooking. Put a 5 in the chat if you think I'm just putting dubs on it. Put a 4 in the chat if you think I'm cooking. Put a 5 in the chat if you think I'm putting dubs on it. I'm going to see every last one of you weirdos, you media weirdos, straight to hell. I'm going to shoot at. I do a lot more than read documents. I make it make sense. All of it. Not a piece of it. All of it. It's sickening to me. It really is. How many people fall for the okie doke, but I can't blame you all. They work so hard to make sure you do. You got anything to say about this? You've been pretty quiet tonight.
I'm just listening. I'm observing. I'm actually waiting to see what's gonna come out of this. It's something else happening. That's that I can tell. There's something else happening. We just got to see what this something else is.
I got a feeling. I do. But I don't like to speak too soon. But when I do speak, I say it for what it is as it is. The mental stamina that it takes to keep up with the level of tomfoolery that these people put on a day-to-day basis is unbelievable. The reason why I take the time to keep up with it all is because what they're stealing from us is justice. They're stealing justice from us all. I don't get a lot of thanks for this. I don't get paid to do it. And then I look at what's going on with the Hadley case. Now, Dr. Bober wants to be removed from the lawsuit. He doesn't feel as though it's fair
I'm sure he does.
that he's being named in a lawsuit because everything that he did was in good faith.
That's bullshit. What's not fair is him having the damn police meet her, trick her into going to a location, and
Well, it
he
wasn't the police that did that.
well, no,
That
well, it's the
was,
police but the police didn't even. Well, the thing is the police didn't even
it was the
check
Katie's.
credentials.
It was the
They didn't check
Katie's.
credentials. They didn't do anything.
Wasn't it the Katie's? Wasn't it the Katie's that made the phone call to set up the fake consultation for their landscaping business to lure her while there was a GPS tracker tracking her movements?
Yeah, the caddies. Yep.
And one of them worked for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
did security for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, how many ways since we've been talking about this and we've been covering the Hadley story, how many ways did they try to fricassee and fry and remix this story to get y'all to believe everything other than the truth? And guess what? TMZ was involved in their case too.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Isn't that interesting? TMZ is involved in the Hadley case. TMZ involved with the Kaepernick. TMZ involved with covering up, creating cover stories to invalidate mistresses. TMZ involved in. Wow. How do they have time to do their news shows with all of the shit that they're involved in? And I know Stephen A. Smith caught a stray in this live, and guess what? Fuck him too. With his aspirations for politics. Hmm. That's what y'all do. They sit around and they find ways to create as many lies around reality as they can to confuse the public into believing whatever it is that they want them to believe so that they can keep getting paid by their plantation owners. If I hear another Black man say that all he thinks about is how to make his boss money, his white boss money, who is that uppity nigga over there on that thing? Calvin! I bet you if anything happened to the people from Disney, he'll cry. Just like just like Samuel L. Jackson did in Django. The cabal is huge. But it's only as big as we allow it to be. The reason why they're able to manipulate and do the things that they do and say the things that they say and carry on in the manner that they carry on is because public allows them to. The second that we wake up from the malaise and we start holding people accountable and asking for real actionable answers for things that deserve real answers, that changes. They got too many trashy to grouches out here willing to jump on to the bottom barrel of this to destroy real information so that they can whitewash it. See, they get the YouTubers to come and sling the dirt and the mud all over down at the bottom, and then they come and whitewash it and tell you what they want you to believe, and then boom, 72 hours. They ain't no different than Nickelodeon. I don't know why anybody would think they are. Like we got to protect our minds better. They've really done a number on our minds. The things that man, I've had people argue with me about my own life and tell me, well, I seen it on such and such. Yeah, but I'm telling you, You know how many people I've had to sit around and argue about my own life with? People literally believe whatever they see and hear just because it happened on a device. Keep Albie Shore in your prayers. He's waited a long time to have his chance to tell the truth about what happened to him, what happened to his life, what happened to the people that he loves, the things that created distance in relationships where he never wanted distance. Like that man has the right to tell his story.
Mm-hmm.
But not before a bunch of weirdo YouTubers get to sit there and criticize it. And do yourself a favor, you middle-aged hack job of a weirdo. You know exactly who you are. Stop talking about my friend before I start researching into you. Please stop talking about my friend. Because see, a lot of the YouTubers that sit here and they do their content and they do this and they do that, they could not live up to the same scrutiny. They could not. If you dug into their actual real lives, how they really live, what they really do, they would never want to show their face online. They'd have to get plastic surgery to come back online. It's disgusting. Isn't that weird? All of these people out here in the world sitting on this app, judging people they've never met, going through the circumstances and the details of their life as if they have the right to do so, and yet you know nothing about them. Nothing about them. Most of them are criminals. Most of them have criminal backgrounds. Most of them have shoddy records, and a lot of them still live at home with their family. Most of them never been really gainfully employed, ever had a real job. A lot of them come from retail theft background and all of that. I research them. You should really look into these people. See, I got the right to say whatever I want to say. I prostrate myself. I told the truth about myself. I've been honest about myself. I've never really been secretive about who I am. When I decided to come forward and start telling it all, I knew that if I was going to hold people accountable for the crap that they did, I'd have to put myself out there first. But do they? Because there's a content creator that got online. There's a content creator that got online today and decided he was going to jump on the heels of another content creator getting exposed and busted, somebody that he knew. You know, I do my best to keep it cute. It's just funny because when Natanya Rubin started accusing somebody of being a cokehead, I thought she was talking about him. Had no idea who she was talking about. And it's just wild. Um, it's wild. People on this app are wild, man. They all be on all kinds of stuff. They all be doing all kinds of things, man. A lot of them are just really just degenerate in so many ways, or sycophants in so many ways, or wannabes in so many ways. And it's so funny because most of them are fighting to get to the life that I fought to get away from. And it's weird because I fought to get away from that world just so I could create my own space, so I could have my own life on my own terms, make my music, Create a company that could create a possibility outside of what it was. But see, no, they're so greedy. They want all of the money to come to their companies. They want all of the love to come to their companies. They don't want there to be any kind of competition or any kind of option. They want them to be the only option. So because I don't want to be with them anymore, I can't have anything. They have to send people to come after me, to try to destroy my life, to try to destroy my reputation, to try to convince people that I'm this, to try to convince people that I'm that, rather than just me being what I am. I got more people putting content out about me that is not being suppressed while I'm sitting here on my own channel and my channel is suppressed. Imagine that. Imagine me having to compete with my own content with other channels who get all of the love, and we have to fight to get through sometimes. Like, it's insane. All of my subscribers, all of my supporters who sit there talking about, I don't ever get any notifications from your channel, but I see all kinds of weirdo stuff popping up in my algorithm all the time, stuff I don't even follow. You put my name in and everybody else's channel comes up before mine. And unless you know the name of my channel, that's the only way you can find me. It's wild. It's wild. I got more people that have made so much money off of my name, off of me, stealing my content, doing all of that stuff, and I can't make that money. I got people sitting on these sites called Social Blade, where they sit there and they pocket watch everything my channel is doing so that they can find ways to try to find a way to slump my channel, hide my channel, get rid of my channel, prove that my channel ain't real, prove that I don't have real people come. Like, it's crazy. Exactly. Plenty of things pop up on YouTube about me, but not me. Wonder why. Wonder why. Can you imagine that? Get online and see images of you, your content remixed, chopped and screwed with all kinds of weirdo commentary. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here. I'm here. I got people running channels right now. This is some weirdo channel named Channel 54. And he sounds like a ogre from hell, sitting there grunting and smacking and eating, playing all kinds of weirdo drill music that I would never promote or listen to while my commentary is running, and people thinking that that's my channel. And you can find him, but you can't find me. Are you out of your mind? It's wild. So here we are. YouTube made you start your membership over. Ain't that crazy? You didn't cancel your membership. YouTube did. Why? They do that to my channel. They just start canceling people's memberships to my channel. The only thing that proves is I'm whooping your asses with the truth. But understand this: if you gotta cheat me to beat me, the only thing you're proving is that you're a loser. That's it. If you gotta cheat me to beat me and you're not beating me, not if you cheating me. Well, maybe the public just needs to start asking, why is this D plus rated app on the Better Business Bureau so pressed about somebody that's supposed to be so irrelevant? Hmm. I should sue YouTube. I should sue YouTube for the fact that they have evidence of all the gaslighting attempts that happened against me, especially my swatting. It's funny though. They only have it on certain channels and you can't find it otherwise. Whoop-de whoop-de woo, yada, yada, yada. But I can understand why they wouldn't want to play evidence of crimes against me. Yeah. Hmm. So, those were just a couple of things we wanted to touch up on. I wanted to make sure that everybody understood exactly the class A job they're doing on disinformation this week. How many lies have been told, everything that they're pushing out, and just to show you a little bit of evidence of how many liars are working this entire gambit and working together in tandem, whether they acknowledge it or not. This whole media construct is some tomfoolery. But you got to remember the reason why they're doing it. Oh, the 2023 metadata ready? Child, child. They came for my life in 2023. They did everything but take my life in 2023. They came for me heavy. And it was Trasha K and her merry band of weirdos that did the whole thing. Even me being arrested, that was all Trasha K in 2024. Trying to stop me from doing the interview with Gene Deal, but we got the interview done before anybody realized that I was there. I didn't start actually posting until after that. And then the next thing you know, this fake Crime Stoppers thing comes out with some guy I never met who's supposed to be my my accomplice in doing something that never happened. Me so-called allegedly stealing a Penske truck. Never happened. I rented that truck legitimately. I was arrested because Trashy K and all her little merry band of weirdos set me up using Monica Lockett, who was the one who was really down with Carbonation, who wanted to be a part of Carbonation, and who was in love with Eligio Bishop. Isn't it funny that when DJ Genesis, Monica Lockett got involved with Carbonation, it was when they was down there in Costa Rica doing all of those satanic rituals, just like they was doing just right there when Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away. Hmm. Yeah. You got to ask yourself how much demon time the content creators you're watching are on. Yep. I totally forgot all about that. That's exactly where Nature Boy was, right down there where Jamal Warner died. And now they're saying that it wasn't an accident. Now they're investigating it. It's looking like they're going to be investigating Jamal Warner's passing as an unalivement. It's funny. Why would a God-fearing man like him be hanging down there in a place like that where they have so many satanic rituals going on? So many Satanists. Tasha K needs to be more than sued. She needs to be in jail. She's a menace to society. She shouldn't even be allowed online. Which is why I had no problem with understanding what she was trying to do to Damore Hadley and Damore Hadley's story. I could see why they brought her in. To try to derail that story in any way possible, because that's what she does. She kills credible stories. That's what she does. It's interesting because a lot of people aren't talking about the documentary that he allegedly was working on before he passed away, where he was going to be exposing the industry. Maybe somebody saw it. It was supposed to be going up on Netflix. Huh. Maybe somebody didn't like what he was researching, or maybe he stumbled into something that they didn't want him talking about. I wouldn't be surprised. Malcolm could be very innocent in some ways, but he was nobody's fool. Think about Angie Stone. Yeah, content creators do it all the time. They had that one weirdo, Joshua Ray Walmack, that goes by Danny Robertson. They had her screen recording everything that I did and then using some kind of cheat code in Google, because I was using Google email addresses to terminate my channels, and then she would keep the content and run it and pretend like it was her own because she put it on her website. Like, they're all thieves and liars, all of them. But that business that Sean Atwood and Ron did, you know, platforming all of those fake Diddy weirdo liars who were hired to come in and to confuse the public and to give a bunch of crap so that they could poison the jury pool as early as possible. Sean Atwood's channel should be removed just for that alone. And the truth is, the DA for the case and the judge should really look into that. They should look into all of the content creators that have been working so hard to derail that trial from before it even started. That's why they wanted me over there, to use me, to find a way to discredit me so nobody would believe any of the very real things that were being shared in court. It's sad. It's really sad. Yeah. Yeah. It's wild. But guys, we're gonna get ready to get out of here. It's time for me to pack it up and go. But I'm just tapping in, and I figured with all of the commentary and everything that was going on this week, people could use a slightly different perspective. You know, eh, I want to thank you guys for the over 1K likes. I want to thank the almost 1K people in the room. I want to thank you for, all of the super chats and super stickers. Thank you so much. And to everyone who became a member today, welcome to Jag Nation. Our channel's goal is to make it to 100,000 subscribers by our 1 year anniversary and 1,000 members. And that would be great, because then we could really, really, really start getting some stuff done and making some moves happen. Because the truth is people fight to make sure that I can't make a dollar. They fight to make sure that no one can donate to me. They fight to make sure that I can't get any help to do any of the things that I do on a regular basis. So, yeah, 82K, we got there, 18,000 away. Our 1 month anniversary is coming up soon. I mean, our 1 year anniversary is coming up soon. So we're about 7 weeks away from that. So I'm hoping that we can hit that goal. 1,000 members, 100,000 subscribers. Like I said, they do a lot. They do a lot. I know some content creators, like, it's crazy when this channel first started and we were monetizing, we were able to come in our the money we were grossing every month was so much better. But then the second that they seen it, next thing you know, they want to start reporting stuff, demonetizing stuff, going after this, going after that, whoopty whoopty woo, yada yada yada. They do a lot. They do a lot. And they expect me to engage with a bunch of trolls and a bunch of weirdos, and I'm not doing it for content. I'm not platforming these weirdos in my life anymore. We know who they are. We have the information that we have. We're turning it over to the authorities, and we're hoping that it makes it to the right ones. Because if there's one thing that I've learned in the past 2.5 years, is that our government is totally and completely infected with a bunch of shadow agents who work for the wrong side of the game. So, it really is in God's hands when you report certain things that it gets to the right places. So yeah, thank you. And yes, please share this live and tell people to come over here and join. And if you really want to know about me, don't listen to the liars. Just come here with us. And we love you as well. You know that. Me and Odell have worked very, very, very hard. And trust me, if it was up to them, they would have terminated this channel a long time ago. That was their whole thing. Every time my channels will start growing and get over a certain number, like boom, one day my channel would be gone. I would start another channel, and then boom, next thing you know, we would break through and we would have 15,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers, 28,000 subscribers. Boom, the channel's gone, terminated. Oh, for copyright strikes from a bunch of people that don't even exist. And that's supposed to be illegal too here on YouTube. But, they do whatever they want to do. They get rid of who they want to get rid of. And they let stay who they want to let stay. But, while we're here and we're fighting a good fight, I'm going to sucker punch every last one of them with the truth. That's what God wants me to do. That's my mission. That's just that. That's what it is. So, love you all. Be yourself. Don't believe the hype. Don't be a weirdo. And don't leave your eyes stuck like this too long. Otherwise, you're just going to run around lying about videotapes and footage that you don't have, that you never had. But then again, you were told to do that, probably, allegedly, by your lawyer who likes putting me in lawsuits for things that couldn't have happened, while destroying lawsuits of legitimate people who should have been on the stand at that trial. But they couldn't. Want to know why? Because they were in a documentary. It's crazy. The things that people believe. Ooh, I'll see y'all later. Oh my God.